2011, Episode 18, 2011, We Hardly Knew Ye.
Sports Jam's Questions of the Week.
It's still 2011? What happened?
Nah, man, it's what the hell happened.
Sounds like we need some answers. Let's start the show.
Hello and welcome to the final 2011 edition of Sports Jam alongside Stephen Peffer and Rob Steele. I'm Chad Cetera. Gentlemen, the year that was 2011, a lot of great stories in football, a lot of great stories in other sports, but, you know, I just said football, so let's lead it off in football, and let's lead off with the 2010 BCS champions, the Auburn Tigers. Stephen, the SEC did it again to start the year.
Yes, it did. A late field goal in the fourth quarter. They held off Oregon 22-19. Good old Cam Newton and company.
Exactly. Cam Newton was the star. The SEC won another national title, and it just kind of keeps on going, doesn't it, Stephen? The whole BCS in 2011, and boy, I think we're going to start off 2012 with yet another BCS championship for the SEC. Let's talk about that real quick. The BCS, you say it was right. I say it was wrong. The controversy of college football. LSU and Alabama proved that they're the top two dogs in 2011 in college football.
They did, and I believe it got it right once again. The BCS always gets 1 and 2 right, and SEC will prevail this year, I believe, Chad.
Well, yeah, obviously the SEC is going to prevail this year. There's no doubt about it, but let's talk about the guy that prevailed this year. RG3 brings home a Heisman, the first in Baylor University's school history.
Wasn't he in Star Wars?
That'd be RG3.
Hung out with C-3PO?
In C-3PO, yes. Or even Chewbacca. But RG3, Stephen, we talked about it and throughout the show this year. RG3 deserved it, and his big performances in the big games are the reason why he was the Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, that pass late in the game against Oklahoma, I think, sealed the deal. And he just came out and destroyed Texas. I think he deserved it. I mean, he was the most valuable player on that team. Without him, they wouldn't even be going to a bowl game, I don't believe.
I absolutely agree, and Baylor had a fantastic season. Again, college football season, it was a great season. LSU and Alabama is going to start off 2012 with a bang. When you come back to Sports Jam in 2012, we're going to start it off with that LSU and Alabama. Hey, let us hear about your favorite moment in college football this season. Email us at therealsportsjam@gmail.com. Hey, we love to hear from you, and hey, in 2012, we're going to respond to every email that we get. Let's talk about guys that couldn't get it done in 2011. Let's talk about the man that took his talents to South Beach, LeBron James. Hey, he got everything right except he forgot there was a fourth quarter. What happened?
Well, he's the exact opposite of Tim Tebow. He plays the first three but doesn't play the fourth. No heart, shooting up bricks. And they fall to the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, the Mavericks winning their first NBA title. Owner Mark Cuban, you know, everybody says he's the most controversial owner in professional sports. Hey, you know what? He is. And I love it. He built the team. He kept them all together. The pieces are all glued together. The Mavericks.
He's fun to watch.
He's very entertaining. And, you know, I wish your sport, baseball, would actually let him own a team there so we can actually see him in baseball, too. The MVP of the NBA Finals, Stephen.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, what a performance he had.
He was in the zone.
Oh, no doubt about it. And, you know, speaking of in the zone, the NBA shortly after the championship finals that, you know, the Dallas Mavericks won in 6 games, you know, they went on lockout. You know, one of 2 professional sports that went on lockout. And, hey, they're back. We're going to start the 2011-2012 season on Christmas Day with a quadruple header on ESPN and ABC. And, wow, you know what? They just signed their deal, and what the heck is David Stern doing here to begin the season?
I think he's playing fantasy football commissioner, Chad. Vetoing deals left and right, not letting CP3 go where he wants to go.
Or even where he doesn't want to go.
Exactly.
Fantasy football is a great game to play. I've been playing it since 1990, 21 years, but you know, never would I ever take my powers as a fantasy football commissioner to the extreme that David Stern is doing. You know, he is not Roger Goodell. He can't play the God syndrome in the NBA. I think what he's doing to the NBA is killing him, but we're bound to see something like that happen eventually. You know, old people get senile. David
He
Stern.
vetoed a trade for CP3 to the Clippers. When was the last time anyone voluntarily went to the Clippers?
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of volunteering, let's move on. As 2011, we continue to go. Hey, follow us on Twitter, TR Sports Jam. You know that is our handle on Twitter. You know we've been hitting up Twitter. You know we're getting into the modern days. We're getting into the new technology. And hey, we just tweet whatever we want, and we expect people to follow us and say, hey, you know what, you guys are a bunch of morons. Hey, you know what? That's cool. Speaking of morons, guys, what happened this weekend in Cincinnati? Xavier in Cincinnati. Stephen, what the hell's going on out there?
I don't know what's going on. You know, late in the game, they get in a big brawl. They didn't even finish the game. Bench clearing, punches thrown. Yancey Gates, Des Wells, Mark Lyons. They're just throwing punches left and right, throwing basketballs at each other's heads. Really over nothing, just some trash talk. I mean, I know the schools are close together. I guess there's a big rivalry there.
Well, you know, Cincinnati and Xavier, they're in the same city, and honestly, other than the state of Ohio or the city of Cincinnati and maybe the Kentucky border, nobody really cares about Cincinnati and Xavier. Kind of like what we saw in the NCAA tournament. When I tell you that there was going to be a college basketball game, VCU versus Butler, Stephen, how excited did you get?
I didn't even turn the TV on.
Well, all right.
About as excited as the rest of us are about seeing Alabama and LSU again.
Ooh.
Okay, different stories
Oh,
here.
sorry, wrong.
But now I'm going to change the dynamics. VCU versus Butler, national semifinals. Now how interested are you, Stephen?
I'm excited because I have both of them in my bracket.
Yeah, to lose in the first round. Because I did the same thing. But what a run by VCU. They played in the play-in game in March and won 5 games to get to the Final Four. The VCU Rams out of Richmond, Virginia, got to the Final Four against Cinderella once again, the Butler Bulldogs, who were the national runner-up the year before. What a Final Four to have 2 small schools. Hey, college football, wouldn't that be cool to see Boise versus another little school in a Final Four for the national title? I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud, but VCU and Butler, you know, that was a great game. Butler made it to Monday night for the 2nd straight season where Kimball Walker. What can you say about Kimball Walker, Stephen? What a performance.
Yeah, I mean, he took over the whole tournament, really. I mean, he's, you know, MVP, as far as I'm concerned, of the whole tournament. And
Oh,
he
yeah,
just-
they...
I mean, he's
awesome.
dominated. He just took over like Michael Jordan would take over a game with the Bulls.
Oh, yeah, and what he did before that, I mean, if you think about Connecticut, the run they had, they started their postseason on a Wednesday night, winning Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 games in the Big East tournament. Now, there's 18 teams there. They won all 5 games, and then they had to win 6 games in the NCAA tournament. Kimball Walker put Connecticut on their back. Their UConn Huskies were the basketball champions. And, oh, by the way, just so football fans get it straight, they played it on the court. Nobody voted either one of those teams in the championship game. Just saying. And, hey, if you got problems with what I'm saying, hey, Rob, what's that email again? They can email us.
That would be therealsportsjam@gmail.com.
Hey, and nobody likes what I'm saying. Stephen, what about Facebook? I think they should like us. Do we have a Facebook page, Sports Jam?
We do, the Real Sports Jam.
Hey, you know what? Hit us
How
up.
hard is that?
It's not difficult. You know, we keep on saying the Real Sports Jam, the Real Sports Jam. Hey, the face of Sports Jam is on Facebook, and the face of the NHL is Sidney Crosby. In the beginning of January 7th to be exact.
Precise.
Yeah, precise, exact, whatever it may be. Sidney Crosby went down for the Pittsburgh Penguins with a concussion, did not play the rest of the season. In fact, missed the playoffs, which the Boston Bruins brought home the trophy, beating the Vancouver Canucks. You know, hey, you know, Lord Stanley's Cup, wasn't that invented in another country?
Canada?
Yeah, where's Vancouver?
One of, 6 teams left in Canada?
Exactly, and their nickname are the Canucks. So, you know, they won the President's Trophy, the Vancouver Canucks.
Which means Canadian in kind of a slang kind of way.
Exactly.
I didn't know that for years until Wikipedia showed up. And I went, fine, I'll look it up. What the hell is a Canuck? Oh, the Canadian. Okay, got it.
There you go. And so the Vancouver Canucks heavily favored to win the Stanley Cup. They won the President's Trophy. The Boston Bruins win Game 7 in Canada, bring home the trophy to the United States, which, that's where the Stanley Cup belongs. The Canucks, too bad, deal with it. Hockey belongs in the U.S., but now we get back to where we're at now. Sidney Crosby down with concussion-like syndromes again. Who knows the face of the NHL? If without Crosby, they're in trouble. But speaking of faces, Stephen, I know you watched this throughout the summer. The Women's World Cup, the face of women's soccer. What happened?
I don't know. The U.S. team, the women's U.S. team, always pick to win it. They're playing good soccer. Hope Solo, playing pretty good goalie. Played Japan in the championship game. Have to come back, and it's an exciting game. I was jumping up and down. I'm calling you, going crazy. They score in, the final minute of regular time to send extra time. We play all extra time. We're still tied, and we just can't hit the penalty kicks at the end. Japan takes it home.
Yeah, Japan winning their first ever World Cup championship, and I hate it for the U.S. You have this American pride, and as much as this country wants, as Rob would say, the real football to be a part of the American pastime.
You use your feet. It should be called football.
Yeah, well, it's called soccer, and there's a reason why it's called
only
soccer.
Only in this country.
It sucks. That's why we don't talk about soccer that much. Hey, you don't like what I have to say? Hit us up on Twitter. TR Sports Jam is our handle. I don't have a problem with it. And specify, Chad, you're an idiot. I want to hear it. Follow us. Hey, I'll reply back. I have no problem with that. Stephen, what if they want to email?
Chad, you're an...
All right, here we go. We got our first tweet. Yep, and that one came from Rob Steele. Says, Chad, you're an idiot. All right, I see it. I see how this is going to work. We got to talk about real baseball. What should we do?
We need to throw it to Rob Steele in extra innings.